He's so bad. He might be able to do whatever the he wants. You know, he's Ricky Gervais.
I'm Ricky Gervais. Thank you. You'll be pleased to know this is the last time I'm hosting these awards, so I don't care anymore. I'm joking. I never did. Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all gonna die soon, and there's no sequel.
He's Ricky Gervais. He's got the ability to probably say, "Oh, I'll do it, but I'll do it this way."
Joe Rogan has issued a chilling warning to Ricky Gervais, claiming the comedian is in serious danger after his ruthless takedowns of Hollywood's darkest secrets.
Him saying, "Don't virtue signal, just come out here and get your little prize, go f*** off, because nobody cares about your opinion." I was like, thank you, Ricky.
Ricky has never held back when it comes to exposing the dirty underbelly of Tinseltown, from calling out powerful elites to mocking their hidden agendas at high-profile events.
If you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything.
But Rogan believes those very elites may be ready to strike back. Has he gone too far this time? Could Ricky's sharp tongue finally get him in trouble with the wrong people? With Hollywood's history of silencing those who know too much, Ricky might be facing threats more real than he ever expected. So what exactly did Ricky Gervais do to stir the pot? Well, during his legendary Golden Globes monologue, Gervais completely torched Hollywood, tearing into everything from the industry's fake wokeness to its dirty secrets.
If you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and
He called out their double standards and made jokes that left the room squirming in their seats. The audience was stunned. Some laughed, some cringed. But one thing was for sure, no one left that night untouched by Ricky's fire. Well, Ricky went there. And the fallout? It was massive. Instead of celebrating him for speaking the truth, Gervais found himself on Hollywood's, let's just call it, their unofficial hit list.
I'm Ricky Gervais. Thank you. You'll be pleased to know this is the last time I'm hosting these awards, so I don't care anymore. I'm joking. I never did.
Joe Rogan, the man who never shies away from controversy himself. On his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan praised Gervais for having the guts to call out Hollywood's shady side. Rogan was hyped, calling Gervais a real comic for going rogue on an industry known for playing it safe. But Rogan didn't stop there. Oh no, he issued a stark warning.
He's so bad. He might be able to do whatever the he wants. You know, he's Ricky Gervais.
Rogan believes Ricky Gervais may be in real danger. After all, Hollywood isn't exactly known for handling criticism gracefully. Rogan even suggested that Gervais, with his no-holds-barred jokes, could have rattled some very powerful cages. And when powerful people feel threatened, you never know what might happen. Sure, a few in Hollywood were brave enough to cheer him on. Some respected Gervais for his brutal honesty and were impressed by his willingness to say what everyone else was thinking, but was too scared to utter.
He's Ricky Gervais. He's got the ability to probably say, "Oh, I'll do it, but I'll do it this way."
But Rogan isn't buying the applause from the sidelines. In his mind, the real power brokers, the ones controlling Hollywood's biggest deals, are not happy with Gervais. And that's where the danger lies. Is Rogan overreacting, or is he on to something? The entertainment industry has long been accused of silencing voices that don't fit the narrative. Could Gervais' razor-sharp jokes at the Golden Globes have put a target on his back? Joe Rogan seems to think so. His warning was clear. If you challenge Hollywood, you'd better watch your back. Whether Gervais realizes it or not, his fearless honesty might just have opened a Pandora's box he wasn't ready for. And now, it's Hollywood's move. Apparently, now Ricky had no option but to tighten up security and lay low. Sources close to the comedian stated, Ricky is very aware of the dangers, and he can afford whatever security he wants, so he thought it was a no-brainer. This sentiment seems to have taken on a new dimension after Ricky began reflecting on his own mortality. In an interview, Gervais shared, "Every day I'm closer to death. Every day is a bigger percentage of the rest of your life, and we don't know what percentage that will be. If I die tomorrow, today was 50%. While it may seem like Ricky is simply pondering life's inevitable end, some can't help but wonder if there's more to it. Could the comedian be feeling the pressure from Hollywood's elite after his explosive takedown of the industry's hypocrisy? Rogan's warning hints at the deeper repercussions of confronting such powerful figures, and Gervais' recent reflections on death suggest that he may have realized the gravity of his actions, but maybe that's not the case.
I started a band and we got signed, and it was over as quick as it started. My rock career was 1 year long.
Everyone expects Ricky to be enthralled by the opportunity, but Gervais had too many opportunities by this time, and he decided to no longer hold back his actual thoughts on some important matters.
I'm Ricky Gervais, thank you. You'll be pleased to know this is the last time I'm hosting these awards, so I don't care anymore. I'm joking, I never did.
Just in minutes, Ricky Gervais managed to peel back the curtain on Hollywood's darkest side. He highlighted some of the most shocking issues that the elites work hard to keep hidden. Kicking things off, he took aim at Felicity Huffman's infamous college admissions scandal, setting the tone for what would be an unapologetic takedown of the industry's secrets.
The license plate was made by Felicity Huffman. So, no, shush. It's her daughter I feel sorry for, okay?
Felicity Huffman had paid substantial bribes to secure her daughter's place at a prestigious college, effectively taking the spot from a more deserving student. Though she accepted her punishment, her case was yet another reminder of how Hollywood elites manipulate the system to their advantage. At her sentencing, Huffman said, "I accept the court's decision today without reservation," Huffman said at the time of her sentencing. "I have always been prepared to accept whatever punishment Judge Talwani imposed. I broke the law. I have admitted that, and I pleaded guilty to this crime. There are no excuses or justifications for my actions, period." Ricky didn't stop there. He then tackled a scandal that sent shockwaves through Hollywood: Jeffrey Epstein. In typical Gervais fashion, he delivered a cutting joke about the notorious ex-offender's mysterious death in prison, further exposing the uncomfortable truths the industry would rather keep quiet.
So in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
Jeffrey Epstein was no ordinary criminal. The financier, arrested on charges of STFing and conspiracy, quickly became the center of a case that exposed the dark underbelly of power and privilege. What set Epstein apart was his deep connections with some of the most influential people in the world. His high-profile social circle, which included figures like Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, and Prince Andrew, raised serious questions about how he managed to evade justice for so long. Hollywood, too, wasn't far from Epstein's reach. Notable figures like comedian Chris Tucker and actor Kevin Spacey enjoyed their association with the disgraced financier. Spacey, in particular, had to testify about his connection to Epstein, vehemently denying any close ties, stating, "I was now being talked about as if I knew Jeffrey Epstein, as though I was some important and powerful friend of his. And because I'd been on this airplane, I had actually flown to what was being called Pedo Island. And while it is true that I met Jeffrey Epstein on that trip, I never saw him again. And I have never been to any island." But Epstein wasn't the only powerful figure connected to Hollywood's elite. Ricky didn't shy away from addressing another notorious figure during his Golden Globe speech, Harvey Weinstein. Once one of Hollywood's most respected producers, Weinstein's name is now synonymous with the industry's darkest secrets. Gervais pointed out how the entire industry had turned a blind eye for years, protecting Weinstein by staying silent, allowing his predatory behavior to go unchecked.
Our next presenter starred in Netflix's Bird Box, a movie where people survive by acting like they don't see a thing. Sort of like working for Harvey Weinstein.
By bringing up both Epstein and Weinstein, Gervais exposed the close-knit ties between Hollywood and powerful offenders, revealing how the elites shield each other from consequences. These weren't isolated incidents, but part of a larger culture where power, wealth, and silence allowed heinous acts to continue unchecked. By this point, the audience was on the edge of their seats, unsure of what Gervais would say next. And he didn't hold back. After taking aim at the powerful figures behind Hollywood's dark secrets, Gervais shifted his focus to some of the biggest names in the industry, keeping the heat on. One of his sharpest barbs was directed at Leonardo DiCaprio, mocking the actor for his well-known habit of dating women so young they could easily be his daughters.
Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So
The audience erupted as Gervais quipped, By the time Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was over, DiCaprio's date was too old for him. It was a brutal takedown of one of Hollywood's most beloved stars, highlighting the often ignored age gap in his relationships with a dose of Gervais' signature wit. Well, Ricky has never been one to shy away from controversy, and during his infamous monologue, he touched on the impact of woke culture in Hollywood. He remarked on how this culture had, in some cases, emboldened predators, making them more fearless in their actions. But Gervais didn't stop there. He went on to address the racism deeply embedded in Hollywood, openly acknowledging that the entire system was rigged against people of color.
Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist. So,
with no signs of slowing down, Gervais continued to fire off one sharp critique after another. He finished his speech by calling out actors who win awards and then used their platform to make long, self-righteous speeches. In his final blow, he claimed that as long as they were working for companies and platforms that exploit people, they had no right to preach. Gervais left no stone unturned, making sure the Hollywood elite knew he wasn't afraid to speak the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it was.
if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world.
If there's one celebrity who didn't appreciate Ricky Gervais' bold take on Hollywood, it was Spider-Man actor James Franco. In a resurfaced interview with Shortlist, the Oscar nominee candidly shared his thoughts on Gervais' provocative hosting style at the Golden Globes. While Franco acknowledged Gervais' talent, stating, "I think he's really, really funny and a great comedian." He also pointed out the harshness of his approach. After Gervais' unapologetic monologue, Franco noted, he said, "I'm not ashamed. Why should I feel bad about making fun of a bunch of millionaires?" True, he should do that. However, he believed that ceremonies like the Golden Globes weren't the right setting for such edgy humor. But when it's an event where you've been asked to host and it's a celebration, it just doesn't seem like the right context, Franco explained. He should do that kind of thing on his show. If he's been asked to participate in something where he's supposed to celebrate people, don't bring that kind of humor in. It just doesn't fit and it's bad taste for me. Franco's comments underscore the concern that Gervais' fearless expose of Hollywood's flaws may have put him in the crosshairs of the industry elite, as suggested by Joe Rogan's warning. As Gervais continues to challenge the status quo, he risks facing backlash from those who prefer to keep the uncomfortable truths buried, proving that speaking out can come with serious consequences. Fans also commented it's shocking Ricky and his career haven't already been destroyed after his scandalous speech, with one particular fan stating, "Ricky Gervais laid bare all the dirty little secrets of the Hollywood and ruling elite. Cook's face was priceless in a mere 8 minutes. I'm surprised he hasn't been canceled. The hate speech I see on here now is from TRAs." Another called the comedian's Golden Globe monologues one of the best speeches by commenting, "Ricky Gervais' Golden Globe brutally honest observations about Hollywood is still one of the best speeches in modern times." Ricky Gervais has also voiced his belief that he is being targeted by a deliberate campaign, resulting in significant personal and professional losses. This assertion follows a contentious moment from his Netflix special Armageddon, where Gervais humorously referenced terminally ill children, using the term baldy alongside the R slur. The reaction was swift and severe, with over 12,000 individuals signing a Change.org petition urging Netflix to remove the skit from its lineup.
That's why it annoys me when people say, "Oh yeah, humans, we're the most evolved." We're not the most evolved. We're no more evolved than the slug or the snail. People go, "Oh, come on, look at them."
After the backlash, Gervais took to the stage to address the uproar, emphasizing that his remarks were meant to be jokes. He clarified, "These are all jokes, all right? I don't even use that word in real life, the R word. I'm playing a role. I am writing this petition as a parent whose child bravely battled cancer." The recent skit by Ricky Gervais on Netflix, where he refers to terminally ill children as baldy, is not just disrespectful, but also deeply hurtful. However, the damage was done as many felt that Gervais crossed a line. This controversy adds another layer to Joe's warning that Gervais may have angered powerful figures in Hollywood. As Gervais continues to push boundaries with his humor, it seems he's not only facing the ire of the public, but possibly a targeted campaign against him from within the very industry he exposed. Still, dismissing the criticism, Gervais asserted, "I can play to 1 million people. I won't get a complaint. As soon as it goes on Netflix, or as soon as someone writes up a joke that says this is offensive, people go, oh, that's offensive. They haven't even heard the joke. They weren't there. Ignore them. They don't count. They have no effect on me. They don't count. They're hecklers." Moreover, Ricky has always understood that offending people is an occupational hazard for comedians, especially in today's highly charged social climate. He has candidly discussed the role of social media in this dynamic, likening it to a form of heckling that exists on digital platforms. They just want a reaction. Being ignored has the same psychological effect as being slapped in the face. So I really enjoy ignoring people, Gervais said, highlighting his strategic approach to handling criticism. In clarifying his approach to comedy and politics, Gervais explained that while he generally avoids deep political discussions, he often adopts left-wing or right-wing personas on stage to serve the needs of the joke. He dismissed the idea that jokes reflect a comedian's true beliefs, asserting, "Some people think that a joke is a window to the comedian's true soul. It's just not true. It's a joke." However, this perspective has not shielded Gervais from the fallout of his humor. As we know, his willingness to challenge the Hollywood elite and call out the industry's pervasive issues has placed him in the crosshairs of those in power. Observers have pointed out the apparent inconsistency, highlighting instances where other comedians who made similar jokes didn't face the same level of backlash or cancellation as Ricky did. But he doesn't care about Hollywood cheap antics. Fans support him, as one of them wrote, "Ricky Gervais is the CM Punk of stand-up comedy. He doesn't give a crap what other people think as long as he exposes their unpleasant smell. Hollywood is so rotten as hell. We're behind you, Ricky." Another one added, "He's our national treasure. You can tell he was born working class because he's honest and not a P or P lover. Not best suited to Hollywood or being a criminal court judge here in Britain. Hollywood should get a surprise napalm party." During an episode of JRE, Joe has expressed his belief that life in Los Angeles is unlike any other place in the U.S., a sentiment that resonates deeply in the context of Hollywood's darker secrets. He also recounted a bizarre birthday bash thrown by Naomi Campbell, illustrating just how surreal and chaotic the industry can be. "Living your life in LA can be really bad for the psycho," Rogan remarked. "There's no weather, everyone's trying to get famous, and you're also dealing with these strange people." During this narrative, Rogan detailed how he ended up at Campbell's party with Dave Chappelle. "I went to this bizarre party once in the Hollywood Hills with Chappelle," he shared, recalling how the comedian invited him on a whim after they hung out at a comedy store. "Want to go to this party with me? It's Naomi Campbell's birthday." Rogan's observations about the eccentricities of LA set the stage for a deeper conversation about the dangers of speaking out against the Hollywood elite. Following Ricky Gervais' audacious Golden Globes monologue, which left the industry reeling, Rogan suggested that even powerhouses like Diddy, often dubbed the king of parties, should be wary of Gervais. The question looms, why should Diddy and others in Hollywood fear Ricky? With Gervais' fearless critiques of the industry's most powerful figures and its entrenched problems, it's clear that his unvarnished humor has put him on a metaphorical hit list. As Rogan pointedly warned, Gervais' expose of the uncomfortable truths in Hollywood may have repercussions that could put him in real danger, potentially angering influential figures who prefer the status quo. But we all know that Ricky is renowned for his caustic wit and fearless roasts, often leaving celebrities squirming in their seats during award shows. His memorable and controversial moments have included quips like in 2016, when he joked about Matt Damon being the only person that Ben Affleck hasn't been unfaithful to, and in 2010, introducing Mel Gibson by saying, "I like a drink as much as the next man, unless the next man is Mel Gibson," cleverly acknowledging Gibson's well-documented struggles with addiction. Yet, beneath his unapologetic exterior, Gervais has expressed regret over certain jabs, particularly one made in 2011 while introducing Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. He said, "What can I say about our next two presenters? The first is an actor, producer, writer, and director whose movies have grossed over $3.5 billion at the box office. He's won 2 Academy Awards and 3 Golden Globes," before adding, "The other is Tim Allen." In 2020, Gervais reflected on this moment, clarifying that he holds no ill will towards Allen. He explained to The Hollywood Reporter, "So even though there's no malice and I can justify it comedically and everyone laughed, I didn't want Tim Allen to think, oh, that was written for me. Why me? Well, because you were standing next to Tom Hanks. As Joe Rogan warned, Gervais's fearless approach to roasting celebrities and exposing Hollywood's secrets has put him at risk, potentially angering the very elites he critiques. With a history of crossing boundaries, Gervais stands at a crossroads, facing both admiration and backlash for his unflinching candor. The question remains, will his humor ultimately lead him to triumph or into the dangerous territory of Hollywood's ire? Who knows? Despite facing opposition from several industry figures, his fans remain steadfast in their support, expressing concern that the backlash could potentially harm his career. Nevertheless, they continue to stand by him unwaveringly. One of them wrote, "Only conservatives are celebrating Ricky Gervais' takedown of the Hollywood elite. For a group who hate the Hollywood elite, they sure love having Hollywood trash running the country into the ground." Another penned, "I watch this every time I see it on my social feed and every time I think Hollywood needs Ricky Gervais as the host for every award show, at least until everyone in attendance can be seen laughing at him and therefore at themselves." One notable feud in Ricky Gervais' career unfolded in 2009 when James Corden portrayed Gervais in a sketch on the comedy show Horn and Corden. This portrayal reportedly irked Gervais, especially after Corden's Harvey Weinstein jokes at a Hollywood gala fell flat. Gervais didn't hold back, criticizing Corden on Radio Andy, stating that he didn't do it well enough. Fast forward to the 2020 Golden Globes, where Gervais delivered a particularly savage roast aimed at Corden, saying, "The world got to see James Corden as a fat pea. He was also in the movie Cats, but no one saw that." This jab not only highlighted Gervais' trademark biting humor, but also underscored the ongoing tensions between them. Despite the fallout from these incidents, Gervais has never shied away from calling out the industry's wrongdoings. His willingness to confront uncomfortable truths has frequently landed him in hot water, especially in an industry that often prefers silence over scrutiny. As Joe has warned, Gervais's candidness about Hollywood's secrets and his personal feuds may have made him a target among the powerful elites he critiques.
He's so bad. He might be able to do whatever the he wants. You know, he's Ricky Gervais.
With Ricky's relentless approach to humor and his fearless critique of the industry, he walks a fine line. While fans also support him and enjoy how he exposes the Hollywood elites, as one fan commented, "They were all dressed up, air kissing, preening, pouring champagne, congratulating each other. Then Ricky started talking. The looks on their faces were priceless. I only wish the cameramen had captured more of them." Another added, "Ricky Gervais callback alert. Hollywood is not real. Don't expect celebrities to be ethical when every part of their lives are contrived. The 21st century is upon us. Don't be chained to the rhythm. Stay focused." Well, Ricky's sharp wit and boldness are celebrated by many, but they also pose significant risks, especially when it comes to Hollywood's reaction to those who dare to challenge the status quo. Will Gervais's comedic courage continue to embolden others, or will it ultimately lead him into deeper trouble within an industry that doesn't take kindly to those who expose its hidden truths? That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.